Well, at this point, let's see if we can join Barrister Peterson, or at the moment, Barrister Ata Ikiddeh, the President, Nigerian Ethical Society. If he's on the line with us, a very good morning to you, Barrister Ata. It's wonderful to have you join us once again this morning on Morning Express.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, interestingly, quite an interesting lineup of conversations on the program. But first things first, let's revisit the suspended Kogi State or Kogi Central Senator, talking about Senator Natasha Akoti Unaghan, whose recall bid has been thrown out by INEC. I don't know if you have been following the story quite closely, but what do you make of this development, being that the petitioners are hell-bent on fine-tuning their petition and reissuing it to INEC?
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning. I think it'll be a very big disappointment to those who came forward to recall Senator Akoti Uduaghan. INEC doesn't make it easy at all to recall a senator. And there's a reason why. Because to recall a senator, the Constitution makes it very hard because that senator has been elected, all right? And so to recall that senator, there must be stringent requirements. If not, you might have a situation where anybody can just wake up and say they want to recall. And that's why since 1999, no senator and no member of the National Assembly has been recalled. I think there have been 5 cases. I think there was, 5 years ago, they tried to recall, what's the name of this gentleman? I know that long, that failed.
Yeah.
And then there was someone else. I mean, it's been very difficult, very difficult. First of all, you must get the petitions, you must get the numbers right, okay? Secondly, you must get the signatures, all right? And then the signatures must constitute half of the
registered voters.
Registered, yeah. You must get half.
Yeah.
And in Nigeria, unfortunately, you have a situation during elections, you have just about 30 or 40%. Now, what I understand is that in her constituency, there are about 400,000 plus, okay? And what they were able to get was about 208, and they were shot by about 20,000. But the good thing is this: they are allowed to go and they are given multiple attempts. Okay, now, but I love the way they have been very civil about it. They received the report from INEC and they've thanked INEC for being transparent. And don't forget that it's this same INEC that Natasha Akoti Uduaghan has accused of being partisan. All right, and this is the same INEC that has come up and said, look, I'm sorry, but you have not met the requirements. Because if they had succeeded, all right, the next stage would have been, INEC would have had to verify the signatures, okay, and then verify and make sure that it's met the number. And then I think there's something called the field verification process. And after that, you have the referendum. So it's a very difficult process, and no one has succeeded. But, the constituents that want to recall Natasha Akoti Unaghan are very determined. And they've said they are coming back again and they will keep coming back until they succeed.
Now, Barrister Ata, I just want you to react to a certain video that had gone viral on the internet, and I believe a lot of individuals saw that video, where the constituents of Kogi Central were signing multiple signatures on these documents before presenting them to INEC. Now, this was sort of brushed away or swept under the carpet. Don't you think that more attention should have been paid to such grave, allegations of fake signatures on documents as sensitive as that, in a bid to remove the already embattled senator?
Well, I saw that video.
Yeah.
You cannot believe everything you see on the internet. That video could have been contrived by the other side. I'm telling you. You see, social media has become a place where people create things, make believe things. It's almost as if it's almost as if what you watch on social media is some kind of drama taking place.
Yeah.
And so in an era where people can actually copy your voice, copy your image with AI, I'm sorry, but what I saw that day, it could have been true, it could also have been false, but you cannot in this day and age watch anything on social media and say this is fact. Okay, so I saw that video, I saw people sitting down and signing, and I said to myself, how are we sure that it's not the other side that have contrived this, that have brought these people together just to give the impression that the signatures are fake? So that's why I find it difficult to believe that video.
Well, you find it difficult to believe the video, Barrister, but don't you think that the statement made by INEC that the petition only had signatures of individuals, but there were no names, there were no, well, I think there were names, but there were no addresses or phone numbers of the said individuals who had signed the petition in just a very short period? Thousands of individuals having to sign that petition. Don't you think that the story sort of makes, or the video sort of complements what INEC said regarding the petition and the reason why they had to throw it out? Just before we move on to another matter.
I don't think so, because the issue about the signatures have been rectified. I mean, INEC raised that issue and said, I'm sorry, but there are no addresses to these signatures. And I think 48 hours later, the people, the constituents, came back with those addresses. So that wasn't an issue at all, okay? And that's why I'm sure INEC did not address it, all right? It's a difficult process, and I think there are 3 or 4 stages, to this, but the people behind this, the constituents behind this, are determined. They are very disappointed that Senator Natasha Akoti Uduaghan is not representing them, and they feel that she has to be recalled, and you cannot deny them that right. So INEC was correct to just address the issue that it's not met the threshold, because every other requirement in terms of addresses, all those other requirements have been met.
Well, Barrister, let's take a look at what the Kogi Central constituents had said to INEC. Well, they thanked INEC for recognizing 208,132 signatures in the petition that they had sent, the recall petition, while INEC had mentioned that the petition falls short of about 29,146 signatures. Do you think that maybe in the next time that they would resend this petition to INEC, they would have garnered much support from about 30,000 more Kogi Central voters?
Now, exactly, this is what I was saying. INEC confirmed 200,000 200,000. INEC have not raised issues about the 200,000.
Yeah.
This was exactly what I've said. They've not raised issues about the signatures. They've not raised issues about whether they were fake or whether they were real. They've not raised issues about the video. They've just said it's not met the threshold. All right.
Yeah.
So you have 400,000, and you need to meet half plus one. And since INEC have not, in fact, I actually think it's positive, the fact that INEC have not raised any issue regarding the 200,000. And if they were able to get 200,000 within 2 weeks, I can't see why they can't get 20,000 or 30,000 more in the next 1 week or so.
Well, we will be looking out to see what happens in the next couple of weeks, or even in a month's time, whether or not Natasha's recall would pull through with INEC. Let's move on to yet another matter in the news this morning. The president has jetted out to France, while the vice president has also gone on yet another international trip. Now, this is one of many controversial issues in the country at the moment, as certain individuals, keen observers of the political scene in the country, are decrying the state of the incessant international trips being embarked on by the president, the vice president, and certain ministers in the nation, citing that there is a need for a reduction or a cutting of costs of governance. What are your thoughts on this?
The president needs a holiday. The president needs a break. The president is just like every other a public servant or civil servant, in his own case a public servant.
Yeah.
He needs a break. To be the president of a country of 300 million people, and you're being attacked every day, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I'm sorry, the president needs a break. In fact, you know what? In the UK and in the US, presidents and the PMs go for breaks. They don't even announce it. You just see them on the beach, or you see them sailing in a yacht. Nobody announces it. It's not an issue because in this part of the world, it's recognized. In fact, it's actually part of your pay packet that you must go on break at a certain time of the year, 2 or 3 times in a year, and nobody raises any issue about it. In Nigeria, we don't go on holidays, all right? I mean, the only holiday you go for is probably maybe your village, or or maybe you just take a leave and you stay home. Abroad, people travel out. People just take the time and get a big break. And so the president is adopting what you see in other climes, and he's taking a break. He's going to France, and they've been very truthful about this. They've not said he's going for a walk-in. They've not said he's going there to meet the president of France, or he's traveling from there to the US. They've said it's a walk-in visit where he's going to sit down, review where the nation is at, and then the next steps. So, I mean, they've been very truthful about it, and I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And the fact that the president has traveled out, the vice president has traveled out, shows that the polity is stable. It shows that there's a government in place. It shows that the president is confident enough to hand over to the vice president, and the vice president has traveled. So I guess it's the Senate president now, I believe, who will have his eye on things around the country. I mean, because he is de facto. He's actually in the country physically.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with the president going on a 2-week break.
Well, Barrister Ata, it's not necessarily this particular 2 weeks break that the CUPP and the People's Democratic Party are worried about. But I'll just take a headline story on the front page of the Daily Courier, and I want you to react to it in a different manner from what you did, because it appears that you are completely misunderstanding my line of question. Let's see if we can pick up the Daily Courier in just a moment. On the front page of the Daily Courier, you'd find CUPP, that's the Coalition of United Political Parties, and PDP, People's Democratic Party, are accusing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Vice President Shettima, of extravagant spending on travels, adding that frequent trips create leadership vacuum and harm the economy. While the presidency has defended these missions, saying that governance is not dependent on physical presence. Now, this is where the argument or the debate is stemming from, Barrister Ata.
Right, so were they expecting the president to take a bicycle to France? Were they expecting the president to take a taxi to France? The president is going by air. And that aircraft has been provided for by the nation.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, he's traveling. He's flying out. And how many times has he traveled out this year? I think this is the first time he's traveled out this year. Okay?
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, this is not an issue whatsoever. You see, this is an issue in a country where people don't travel, where people don't go on holidays. In the United Kingdom, the Prime Minister will travel at least 3 or 4 times a year. And when he travels, he's not going on a walking visit. He's going to a beach somewhere. There was even an incident when I think when Blair was the PM at that time, he would actually get his rich friends, okay, his wealthy friends,
yeah,
and ask them to give him their mansion, and he'll take his family and his wife in there, and there'll be pictures all over the place, and nobody had an issue about that. You see, this is only an issue in a country where people don't travel out, where people don't go on holidays. If we Nigerians went on holidays, if we went on breaks, nobody will bat an eye where the president is traveling.
Well, Barrister Ata, we have just about 2-3 minutes to wrap up this conversation, but I like the last point that you made, that Nigerians don't travel, Nigerians don't go on break. Don't you think this is in line with the fact that the economy continues to bite hard on the backs of Nigerians, and they can't afford basic needs of life, not to talk of traveling abroad for holidaying? Also, in line with that, what do you think can be done to instill this sort of faith and confidence in the governance, in the hearts of and minds of Nigerians going forward?
All right. Now, Nigerians are a people who, I don't know whether it's our orientation while we're growing up.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what your experience is as a child, but my experience was travel was go to the village with my parents. And travel was, or holiday was maybe go to Ibadan, because we're in Ife, go to Ibadan, spend maybe 3 days and come back. The truth is this: even if you cannot travel out of Nigeria, all right, Nigeria is a place, a nation with huge tourism potential that we've not explored half of a percent of our tourism potential in Nigeria. How many Nigerians travel to Obudu Cattle Ranch? How many go to Yankari Game Reserve? I mean, how many people will leave Abuja and go to Akwa Ibom State and say, let me just spend like 7 days there and then come back? We don't travel. That's the truth. We don't go on holidays. All right? So it's not whether the economy is good or bad. Even if this economy was booming,
people don't travel.
Nigeria still will not travel. I'm telling you that.
Well.
We need,
Yeah, carry on, please.
we need, we need, we need to develop a conscious tourism potential, because tourism is this, okay? Visitors will not come into your country to see what you've got if your local population do not appreciate what you have. I'm telling you, there are huge tourism potentials in Nigeria. You need to travel to the north and see the mountains. I was um, a copper in Gongola State at that time, and I took out 1 year to live on the Atlantica Mountains. It's a range of mountains between Cameroon and Nigeria. And you need to see those mountains. I'm telling you, if those mountains were in a place like Britain, you see huge numbers of people flocking to climb those mountains. But in Nigeria, it's wasted. Completely wasted. So it has nothing to do whether we're rich or whether we're poor. Nigerians don't just travel.
Well, it's a very fine place to leave the conversation here, Barrister Ata. It was just starting to get very interesting. We wish we had more time, but I'm afraid this is all we'll have to take. But thank you so much. It's been a very engaging session. Hopefully, we'll have you join us again next time to talk about more in-depth national issues in the news. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, that has been Barrister Ata sharing his thoughts with us. Barrister Ata Ikiddeh, who is the president of Nigerian Ethical Society, talking to us about matters of national interest in the country.